All right, we are rolling. All right,
Yo.
what's up? All right, so Cosmic, my man,
Yes.
what do you think is MD's biggest flaw as a show?
Oh man, there are a lot of things to consider with
I know,
this.
there's quite a few. Yeah,
I mean, oh man, I think the first thing that pops into my mind is, I guess the comedy that like a lot of the
oh,
time
yeah.
breaks some of the suspense but I feel like there's like bigger things than that.
The tone definitely is an issue, but I don't think it's like you said, like that big of one.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'd say
it's really
maybe
tough.
I think I think it's just because they don't have like a lot of episodes to do this, so maybe it's just like a lack of like going into more depth into like the plot, which kind of sounds a bit crazy since it's a plot driven show.
Yeah. Like 8 20-minute long episodes on average, like that's not much room to work with.
Yeah.
So every little thing they do is really important. It's why when you have episodes like episode 5 where like nothing like that important happens until like literally the end of the episode is pretty detrimental to the entire series. That is 1/8 of the entire show we're not getting back. We wasted it on a kind of sort of flashback with a crow and unfunny jokes and
Yeah. Like my first watch through, I was like so confused. I did not understand it at all. I mean, to be fair, I did not understand the entire series at all when I first watched through. But even after like my second, third, and fourth, I just like did not like the episode at all. It's probably my least favorite, which is a common like opinion, but it's
absolutely, yeah. Like at least with like my little inner circle, generally everyone can understand episodes 1 through 4 like pretty well. The second 5 rolls around though, that's when stuff just gets very confusing.
Yeah. I mean, to give Murder Jones credit, I already knew like all the main plot points like through my second watch through, so I understood because I watched it a second time, so I could understand what was going on. Give it credit, I still really loved this series, even though I already knew like who was gonna die, who's who, and stuff like that. But it still definitely would have benefited from like filler episodes, and even though that probably wasn't in like a budget that they probably didn't have enough money or something. It still would have benefited a lot if they had like a lot more time to go into more depth into the plot and characters.
I think a workaround that they could have done is they probably could have like maybe like waited like an extra month per episode and tacked on a few extra minutes to each individual episode. Because like at least from what I notice, and I'm sure you'll notice too, is there's not many character interactions with like the main group. It's just N and Uzi and V kind of on the sidelines, and like barely anyone else like gets dialogue really, especially the characters like Jay and Tessa. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, and literally Dahl in episode 6, having literally no dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned this I think at least once on my channel, but if Dahl chose to join the group to go into the whole lab area, and there was like the labs, and her and V had to somehow talk to like communicate, I feel like that would have been a really good arc of Dahl trying to forgive V and V trying to get past her whole whatever, and would have given them both really good character development.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I don't really know, but I think that would have been better than just Dahl getting 0 dialogue and then dying the next episode.
It is very evident that after episode 3 they were just done with Dahl. She just moves the plot along in episode 5, says and does basically nothing in episode 6, and then dies in 7. They could have gone a million different ways with her, and it would have ended up a million times better.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, I know. It's really sad just thinking about.
I want to say Jay for like towards the end of. So
of course,
I don't want to, because that's an easy thing to talk about. I'm trying to.
That is a very easy thing to talk about.
Yes, very easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's go a little bit outside the box here. Like, okay, who do you think is like the best written character right now in the show?
Oh man, I don't know. I think, I mean, the obvious answer is like either Uzi or N. Probably Uzi since she's literally the main character. But
Obviously, yeah. You're getting the most screen time. You're gonna
Yeah.
get the most of everything.
I mean, I think yeah, I was writing a script like 5 hours ago, and I mentioned like Uzi got a lot of character development throughout every single episode, excluding maybe episode 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so yeah, I'd probably say Uzi, but I feel like that like attention could probably still be like shown to a little bit to N and a lot more to V and a impossible amount to J. So
Right. Yeah. Me personally, I would argue that Khan is the best written character in the show right now. Like that may
I'm just
sound
trying
a bit
to process
crazy.
that information.
Right. But let me cook. All right.
Okay.
So Khan, like obviously, he actually appears in like almost every episode, except for 6, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about Khan is with his limited screen time, like he develops off screen, but it still shows in his character, whenever he actually like physically appears on screen. Like post episode 3, when he is running to like the prom and everything, and Dog closes the door on him. That's kind of like the turning point for him, really.
Yeah.
And between episodes 5 and 7, like his plot line happens off screen, where he gets the railgun and Thad and Lizzie and everything.
Yeah.
It's a very slow and very underappreciated character arc, in my opinion. Because I'm sure if you have any experience in the fandom, basically everyone hates Khan still for what he did in episode 1.
Oh yeah.
So it makes it really hard to appreciate anything he does like after that.
Yeah. I would say that after episode, because he's definitely gonna get a lot more screen time and probably development in episode 8. But I mean, I moved on from episode 1 a while ago. Like I saw it and I was like, oh, that's like really messed up. Anyway, how do I buy merch? Like I just moved on. And
Of course, yeah.
yeah, I do agree to some extent. He definitely, his arc alone could probably make a spin-off episode by itself. Although I don't know whether that would be a good idea or not.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I could see where you're coming from with Khan getting the most development, at least the most like even amount of development, not just like and getting like all the attention at episode 5 and then like a little bit for the rest.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Like kind of tying back to what you said, like a lot of the B plot characters, like Doll, Tessa, Khan, Thad, Lizzie, all them, like a lot of them needed more attention, I feel, like especially Khan, because like just like Doll, he does appear in basically every episode, but his role in all those episodes is very like linear. He doesn't do much besides just make a cameo, essentially.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because like the show could have had like 2 storylines going on. You have the main absolute solver stuff with Uzi and V, all that, but the bunker crew, they probably have a pretty good story going on, but it's just kind of like forced into episode 7 kind of.
Yeah, I think a really interesting arc is like, okay, hold on, just hear me out a little bit. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna let you
robot
cook,
racism. Okay. Everyone,
Okay.
no, wait. If everyone in like most people in the bunker have been like continuously taught that the murder drones are bad, so as soon as people like N and V are like hanging out with murder drones, why would they just accept that? I feel like there would be some pushback against that. So I guess maybe maybe it's a strong word, but I think that would make it an interesting plot for at least, I don't know, like 10 minutes.
I completely agree. The entire like disassembly drones eating worker drones plotline after episode 3 is not relevant, because in episode 4, obviously the 2 mass murderers are now your camp counselors, so there's not much you can do with like that inner hatred, especially when Rebecca and Darren are literally kissing N and everything.
It's just it like goes from like we almost died like during our prom to like hey, like, are you single? Like it goes, there's such a snap.
The tone just disappears. It's just an instant snap of horror into just comedy. Like there's no mix really.
I think that's the biggest flaw with Murder Drones is consistency. Actually.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah.
Because like in episode 1, N says he has a crush on V. Episode 3, now Uzi and En are dancing. I think that's part of
yeah.
the reason. Like I don't ship people in like a show or
I don't ship
movie or
either.
anything,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
unless it like positively affects the plot, I think it's really good
Right.
if like a relationship in a story can really help develop the plot and characters. But it just completely switched. There's no point where it's like En like realizes how bad of a person V is or anything. It just doesn't happen. They just pretended it didn't happen. Which is why
Yeah.
if I ever get asked the question like, are you an NV or are you a Newsy shipper? I'd say
Yeah.
both, because Newsy is probably canon, which I have mixed opinions about, but NV probably should have happened.
Yeah. You're gonna get no argument from me.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get
yeah.
I'm probably gonna get a lot in the comments, but or maybe not. Every time I say that, nothing happens.
More audience engagement.
Yeah.
Okay. What I was gonna say. I like. Okay. Kind of tying back like before the shipping stuff. The show really struggles with like telling the audience how you should react to like the information being displayed on screen. Like, if someone dies and the show plays it off as a joke, am I meant to think every other death is a joke, or am I meant to like just like think of each death differently?
Yeah.
That's a major issue. Like the camper that V shoots in episode 4. It's played for a joke, but that is a character. That's a very minor character's death.
Yeah. Like, they just die. They probably had a family, and not only that, but Lizzie probably also steals a watch and a phone. So I don't.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We go from the character dies, their family is it's just played off as a joke. Their family is probably crying, but then some random adult in episode 2, or a lot of people in episode 2 die, and it's supposed to be treated seriously.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, using death as a scapegoat for comedy is not a bad concept if executed properly.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
Yeah, I think that scene in episode 4 could have been like completely avoided if V just shot the person in the foot and didn't kill them.
Crippled them or something.
Yeah, like crippled them or something. Like, it's still like, oh, they're permanently ruined, or maybe not because they're robots, but like they're hurt.
Yeah.
It's a threat, but it's not like, oh, death is so funny.
I know, and like not even that. Like that may just be like a fluke or something, right? But it's not. Episode 5, you have James Elliott forking a drone to death, and that's played for a joke. It's so weird. Cause
I get where you're coming from, but I feel like that was mostly, I didn't really find that as a joke, so I don't know whether that was just not funny for me, or if I just like, or if it wasn't actually a joke. I'm not saying like, because you're absolutely correct. It probably wasn't a fluke, because there are other points in the show where death is played off as a joke. But I feel like that scene specifically with the fork, I don't know whether it was just like comedy or if it was just showing how cruel they were. I think that was the intention, but also the intention that it was a joke, maybe.
It could very well be both. It is overly comedic, but it does show like who the Elliots really are.
Yeah.
So what was I gonna say? It's just so bad how like a central point of the entire show, murder, right? There's no murder without murder drones. It's just really weird how the show just can't pick one or the other, because it's so inconsistent, as you said.
Yes.
It like, I don't know, that like it's a clusterfuck, really.
Yeah, and it's like the consistency is all over the place. I think, I mean, it's a decent show, but it can be improved so much if they just kept being consistent. Like, murder is still treated the same. Murder drones are like, I don't know, snacking on like oil or robot parts or whatever throughout the show. I mean, honestly, that small detail would have been great. I mean, that was mentioned in GLITCHx, like in November. Like, there was a joke about a juice box being held by N or something. And I feel like they did incorporate that with Nori in episode 7, but it was just the wrong person.
Yeah. Speaking of, actually, do you have any thoughts on like Nori secretly being alive or anything? I feel like that's a really like underappreciated thing, or like under talked about rather, not underappreciated.
I mean, as soon as I saw Nori in the opening scene for episode 7, I was like, oh great, Nori's alive. But I didn't
Yeah.
really, it didn't really stick out to me because either you know exactly who it is at like the beginning of the episode or you don't. And I knew immediately, and it did not impact me at all.
Right.
I think it was really bad execution. I think if it was like, I don't really know. I haven't thought about this a lot. So yeah, you're right. It is very under talked about. I haven't thought about it a lot.
Yeah,
but
once again, episode 7, you're going to think about probably 2 things. Tessa's death or Dahl's death. The Nori reveal is very hit or miss, and I think it missed. Because from like episodes 1 through 6, especially 6, because Alice's entire character was meant to just reintroduce Nori into the story.
yeah.
Like, the show builds up her death, quote unquote. Khan put her down with a wrench, all that. She died to nanite acid, quote unquote. It feels like a really cheap way of just bringing her back in episode 7. Because she, as a character, is just a carbon copy of Uzi. Like, just the edginess just cranked all the way up to, like, in 100. And she just makes stuff less interesting, as I put it. She, like, the N versus Uzi fight, she's just kind of there to just power scale against Uzi. That's kind of it.
That is true. I think it would have been actually a better introduction. Maybe not too much better, but still, better if she was revealed to be alive as Uzi was about to kill N. Because N versus, like, I don't really know because I just off the top of my head. But
of course,
if Nori like somehow defend, like, oh, actually, scratch that. Because why would Nori defend a murder joke? That's never mind. That's a horrible idea.
Yeah. No, you're good.
But like, there are so many ways Nori could have been introduced in the episode better than just revealing that she's trying to find the patch for the absolute solver. Which the patch itself seems very out of the blue. Like, oh yeah, just like, oh yeah, there's a cure now.
Yeah. The show, like, I feel like Vivzy popped in between episode 6 or something, because, like, the religious symbolism really just got cranked up.
Oh man.
After episode 5, we have, like, so like the disassembly drones are meant to be like vampires and everything, and like metal angels and all that, what have you. Like after episode 5, man, episode 6 especially, because like we're going into the labs. It's a church. It's a cathedral. It's so weird because the show never really had that religious like symbolism beforehand. But the patch is literally a cross. Like it's so out there. I feel.
Yeah, I think like either during the development of episode 7, it was just like, how do we make this more interesting or something, and then like, I don't know, maybe someone watched a little bit too many theory videos on Has No Tell, and then someone else thought a little bit too much into like, I don't know, Christianity or something. I don't know, but like there was such a drastic change from like, oh, there's like robot dinosaurs to like, oh, everything's like Christian, and like there's like a cross that's like that patches the absolute solver. Also, the beginning of episode 7, Nori's getting like, it's basically like being, what's the word, like banishing a demon, oh god, no, what's the word, I know what the word, I just don't know how to say it correct, like grammarly correct, whatever. It's, oh,
no,
man. Okay, Google,
you got it.
Wait,
like, no, I know the word too. It's just I'm trying to put my finger on it.
Man, I don't even know what to search.
Exorcist?
It's close to that.
Hold up, just
what? Expelling a demon?
Yes.
Basically that.
Yeah.
And it was just such a. It was cool. I like if I turn off my brain.
Of course, it was cool.
It looks cool. It's just like, in the grand scheme of things, where did this come from? Why are scientists being religious? Like, if anything, it's more ironic than funny. Which I guess is kind of heavily related, but it's still out there.
Yeah. You might as well just have Mitchell be the Pope, and Sin literally just be Satan, because that's basically what everything means in that episode.
Like Yeah, I guess also just hopping back a little bit into consistency, there was like no
Right.
horror at all towards the middle of the series until episode 7. Like,
Yeah.
I think episode 3, 4, and 5, there's nothing. Maybe a little bit in 5, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree there.
Yeah. I guess I know because I feel like I heard something online about Liam trying to make like Liam Vickers trying to make the disassembly drones more like angelic.
Right.
So maybe
yeah.
maybe he was just like hiding his secret of wanting to like make this really like I don't know apologize for the lack of better wording, Hazbin Hotel-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if I ever make like a story, I'm gonna put at least one creepy smile in there. But I think
Yeah.
is like I think the idea of just having something being very demonic and like, I guess, for again, lack of a better word, very like Hazbin Hotel adjacent, is a very common idea. It just doesn't exactly fit with Murder Drones too much, I guess.
Yeah. It absolutely did. Yeah. No argument for me whatsoever. Okay. Let's delve into. No. Let's stir the pot a little bit. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So, what do you think about V's character?
Oh man, I think I didn't really think much of her character too much. I think my first impression of her was kind of the side character. My second impression, after learning about how weird the fandom was, or at least certain parts of the fandom were, like, I am
God.
so concerned.
Yeah.
I'm so concerned to like search her up to make thumbnails and stuff. I think
yeah, for sure.
my
Yeah.
third like real my third impression was actually pretty recent after watching Intermission.
Intermission.
It was like there was so much potential with her character that could have been used, but then wasn't.
Yeah, she and Jay are arguably the most robbed characters.
Yeah.
You can really make a good argument for either one, but like V was the poster child of the entire franchise.
Yeah.
You know, literally in the episode 1 thumbnail. And her character does not do anything besides giving the like almost mandatory mysterious line and not like elaborating further. Like, what does she do besides die? Like,
yeah, I think she's gonna either she's just gonna be known as a character who just sacrificed herself in episode 6, or she's gonna have to do some crazy stuff in episode 8 if she comes back, which she definitely will.
It's more of a when instead of an if, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like it's getting to the point where I'm like willing to bet money with my friends who are also Murder Drones fans, like that she will come back. I will win. Yeah. I will win that money. Like,
I think Lizzie is really helping you win that. You know, her mysterious friend or whatever. It's in your face.
I know. I made an entire short about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that one. Yeah. I think Intermission really like woke up a pretty huge amount of the community into realizing like how the canon show just really derailed V like post episode 4. Yeah. Episode 5 should have been her and N's episode, no doubt, right?
And then she was just. Well, I'm so confused where she was. She was just deactivated.
Just started the episode.
Yeah,
nope,
just the entire,
no explanation.
Yeah, like there's no scene to where she was getting like how she got deactivated. Like it's just she.
You could. Yeah, dude. You could literally have her not even enter the flashback with N. Nothing would change.
Yeah.
It's so weird why she's even in that episode.
I think it would have been better if she was in the episode guiding Uzi through the past.
Like in the present, like hell, you can have her and Doll maybe fight or something. You can have,
and then
like,
then you get that arc of like that conversation between the two of them. Like
exactly. Yeah. It's just it's so abundantly clear how like bad they used V, or like rather like didn't use V after Intermission.
Yeah, I think there's so
her
much
sacrifice.
Actually, no, it's okay. You go.
Okay, no. Her sacrifice, like upon like your first impressions, like it's cool. Obviously, it's like a huge oh shit moment.
Yeah.
But when you look back, you just see a wasted character who did nothing, said some pretty ominous stuff because I guess the plot wanted her to, and she just gets eaten by dinosaurs, quote unquote. End of episode.
which
What
is,
were you gonna say?
I was gonna say there is so much potential with her character, like a character that puts on, because like she was obviously putting on like a different personality.
A face, yeah.
Yeah, like a face. There's so much, like it's like just a character pretending to be something else than they actually are in a story can be used dramatically, like really good. Like she was pretending to be a psychopath even though she was like deep down like a shy girl that had a crush on N, even though she treated him horribly. She was
Right.
basically a wannabe J, but got more character development ever so slightly. And it was just, there was so much potential, and then they just threw it away, killed her off, and they will bring her back in episode 8.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good pretty good discussion about V. Okay, let's okay, I got another topic. Okay, do you think that MD has like a problem with an overarching antagonist or just like a villain?
I think it really depends on when you think an antagonist should be introduced, and I
Right.
think that's just preference. Like, if you're able to introduce the main antagonist in the first episode well, and then keep it consistent throughout the series, making like twists with the villain so it stays like fresh, that's good. But if you introduce the main antagonist like an episode, like in like the third episode or like a fourth in the way into the show, that's fine. But anything later would be a little bit harder to do. You don't exactly know who the villain is unless you like watch a few theory videos, and even then, back then, those were theories. We didn't know.
Yeah.
The main villain,
Yeah.
it went from the disassembly drones to, after the disassembly drones were dead, some eldritch monster to a Russian robot girl with magical powers, to the
Yep.
main character, and then to the absolute solver. So it went all over the place. So I don't think it's like a huge problem, but it's definitely something that can be improved.
Absolutely. Yeah. MD has like the villain of the week problem, where every
Yeah.
episode they introduce a new villain, yada yada yada. It's like throwing darts on a dartboard. You're just picking from a jar of hats essentially. Like Sin as a villain is passable, I'd say. She destroyed Earth. She obviously skin Tessa alive and everything.
Which is
But-
crazy. Like,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. I watched like one theory, maybe like 6 months ago. I was like, oh, that's an interesting theory. That's not gonna happen. I was proven wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people were. Point being, in a series where screen time is extremely limited, like every resource needs to be used to like maximize efficiency and everything. Having so many villains, especially villains that don't make it past their like debut episode, it really hurts like the main villain in like how like threatening they are, I'd say.
Yeah,
Like-
I think if,
Yeah.
and this is not gonna happen. Like Murder Drones, it's a 1-season show. I can definitely tell
Oh,
now.
yeah. Oh, for
I'm
sure.
not.
Yeah.
I've already passed all 5 stages of grief. I'm in acceptance. But I think they like, if they were gonna do a season 2, it would have been really hard because they've, like, if anything, they probably should have stuck with like one, like probably just Jay, like doing something, and then we would have gotten not only like Jay character development maybe, but also a season 2, which is one way
Yeah.
to put it. But a way to just like where the show was going if there was only one season is to make Sin maybe appear in the 3rd episode, like doing
Right.
something to Doll, like messing with her or something.
Yeah.
Like some like manipulation, like tempting, like again, like maybe even like planting some like, oh, like this like show could go into more like Hazbin Hotel-ish stuff with like, you know, like the devil tempting Doll or something to go attack the bunker. I feel like that would have been like a better way to be like, oh shoot, there's like a higher power above
At play and everything.
everything.
Yeah. Right. I feel like they really just played all their cards at once. It let's say like, you know, Sin wins or something in episode 8. Like that's likely just the end for everything.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna
yeah.
happen. I hope that doesn't happen because it would be a really hard. I mean, obviously the entire family would probably get really mad, but also, I don't even know how you make that like a good ending. like just everyone dies, the end. I can't see how you make that a good ending.
I don't know. This is Liam at the end of the day, so.
True. I haven't seen
Man does
any of his
whatever he
past
wants.
content except for Cliffside. Or
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's what it's called, so.
Yeah, nah. Past LVA, if you go into his writing, his scary story time with Liam, yeah, he's pretty notoriously good at ending stories abruptly, from what I know. So, yeah, I think that he may try and pull that card, or at least, like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I talked about this in the video I released like 2 days ago. Like in episode 8, if like, because Nori is definitely still alive, and if she's not, that's just horrible. Like you just
she's
introduced
definitely
her,
in the
yeah.
void.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I talked about the idea of time travel, like in episode
Alright,
8,
yeah.
and I'm not gonna spoil anything for that because if people watching this video actually want to go see it, I don't want to do anything. But the basic gist, part of what I said in that video, is that if Uzi and Nori just immediately rejoin the group like 10 minutes into the episode, that's not good. You just ruined the entire ending of episode 7, which in my opinion was really good. You see like the planet have like an explosion on the planet with like,
Yeah,
like everything
all
looks
that.
doomed, and now you just reunited the entire group.
I think the main factor at play for whether or not that's gonna happen is just the runtime of the actual episode. If it's like 25 minutes, yeah, they're gonna reunite past the 10-minute mark. If it's maybe 30, I could see them putting it off till like at least like well over half the episode is over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like grasping at straws. I'm trying to remember like what was I gonna say because I have like bullet points in my head. I think like episodes 8, like the finale has to be like perfect. It cannot.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, it cannot like mess around or anything.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't have anything to say. I have one thing to ask you.
Yes, of course.
What do you think of the idea of N dying and then staying dead in episode 8?
I think that really pays off his character well. I think, in fact, I would argue that's probably the best way you could end his character. Like in episode 6, right? Tessa's ultimatum. You choose Uzi or the universe. I think, like, okay, that plot point got dropped in episode 7, basically.
Yeah.
Because you know what he's gonna do and everything. I think that would like it would be a really nice way to like flip that on its head if it was N who died instead of Uzi.
Yeah. Like and like sacrifices himself to like take down the absolute flaw or something.
Yeah. I think that would be a very good way to just pay off his character, because like I feel I read this in a comment, one of mine. N for like the first couple episodes is a carpet. He's getting walked on and everything, all that. Episode 6/7 though, it's like when he becomes his own man, so to speak, and
yeah, it grows a backbone.
Exactly, killing Tessa, just actually, you know, driving the plot forward without any other influence. Like, if he, as his own person, would sacrifice himself for Uzi, I think that like that's a really good way to pay off everything.
Yeah. I think that's just like the best thing you can do with this character. I mean, there's probably some other ways you can keep him alive and still have a good plot, like arc ending for his character, but I think that's just like the best way to go. And I've gotten a lot of comments whenever I talk about this, like the idea of N dying. Like, no, I don't want N to die. I'll cry if he dies. I want that to happen. Like, sure, like I understand he's a lovable character, but it's like for the sake of the show, he probably should die.
Yeah. People get really like tunnel vision for N from what I'm sure you'll see in the fandom.
So I was watching your 20K special, and you said your hot take was that N should not be in the show at all, I think, right?
Yeah. So let me just go about that actually. Like, okay, Uzi as a character, a major complaint that I see in the fandom with her is her lack of motive. After episode 2, her like wanting to kill all the humans plotline is just eradicated from the show.
Yeah.
She just bumbles around doing absolute Slava shenanigans, what have you, and like she loses agency as a character, which is a very big issue if you're the main protagonist, especially.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of wondering what they're trying to accomplish. What do they want, you know, and everything.
Yeah. All you could really say at that point was that she just wants answers, and that's it. Which is not a good driving like way to like to motivate the main character.
Definitely not. Yeah. Like you have the mini kind of goal of her wanting to cure the absolute solver, but I don't think they even like vocally say it out loud that often.
I don't think they said it at all. I think they was just like, oh, like because it only really became like a big problem, like in episode 6 when she was getting taken over by Sin.
Yeah, if memory serves me right, like the only like reference that she says out loud is like, "This is the only problem to what's wrong with me" in episode 5 with Doll. When that's also Doll's motive too, is to cure the absolute solver. Even though it should have been avenging her parents, which she did do. She killed V in episode 6, but she doesn't reference it in episode 7. So
maybe she just doesn't know.
Even if she doesn't know, maybe she could like talk to Tessa. Where is V? Is V dead or something?
Yeah, but no, it's
like,
it's
nope,
just where's the what was I hold on.
Where's the patch? Where's the
patch? Didn't she already use it though?
Yeah, she did.
So why is she asking where it was? Is she trying? Because if you can't say, oh, she's trying to give it to Uzi. They're like not good buds. They're not. She literally tried to kill Uzi. That's like you can't say, oh, she like no, you're just trying to find it for Uzi. But no, it's not.
Yeah. I also really love how in her death scene, quote unquote, like her after she gets jumped, she teleports to the cathedral, but it's at the very end of the cathedral. Because if she teleported in front of Uzi, then she can't do an ominous walk forward and then collapse in front of her.
Imagine your last thoughts are, you know what, I'm going to use my dying energy to teleport at the end of a very scary cathedral and then walk anonymously to someone else, collapse, die, and have a really cool message on my screen. Like, that's a way to go out, I guess.
I also love how when she collapses too, you can very clearly see with your own 2 eyes that her core is not inside her ribcage. But when the Tessa twist happens, the core is inside her ribcage, and she gets eaten by Tessa.
Yeah, I think it was not. I think that scene where Tessa eats the core, I think it could have been something where like she like you could see like the core trying to escape the cathedral, and then Sin catches it like with like the solver or something. Because like that scene. Sure, it was like I was in shock when I first watched it, and then my second watch through was like, I mean, okay, I guess Doll's not coming back. I was just like, Doll just died. She got like what 5 lines of dialogue, and then got like snapped and then died.
I really appreciate how she didn't teleport when she saw something running towards her, but she teleports after she gets jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful character. Writing. Yeah,
it was just like, oh, I'm trapped, I'm gonna die soon, I'm gonna turn on my light thing, I'm gonna show exactly where I am, because like at that point she doesn't know that it's Tessa, like, or it's like Sin.
Yeah.
So she probably should not have shown where she was, and then also just teleported away, because like that solver can just do that.
The best way I can describe that is it's literally an unskippable cutscene. She has to die.
Yeah, she forgot to. She did not turn on autosave. She like
exactly. Yeah, it's a Nuzlocke, and she very clearly got knocked out.
Yeah.
Okay. What else can we talk about?
I mean, we still haven't talked about Jay.
Oh yeah, we're saving that for last though, aren't we? Unless you want to do that now.
I mean, unless that is last, but
I swear there's like one more thing I had. Okay, here. Let's stir the pot a bit more. What's like your most controversial opinion about MD? Bouncing this back to you now.
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I think the thing that people would get mad at the most are like my ship takes. But I don't really. I don't like after like I've talked about them a lot in like or like a little bit in videos. I haven't gotten any like comments like saying like that's wrong. But and like I definitely have viewers on my channel who are like very passionate about shipping, but they haven't like said anything yet.
Vocally said anything?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, I guess shipping would be first. I guess it's not that big of a hot take. I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, at least off the top of my head, I'd have to think a little bit more. But any ship that's like between background characters like Rebecca or like I guess at this point Lizzie and Thad before episode 7, I did not care about. Like if you went up to me and was like, if you don't support Lizzie and Thad as a ship, I will kill you. I'd be like, I guess I support it. I don't save my life. I guess I don't really care. I
Yeah,
tried,
that's
yeah, I
yeah.
tried recording a video of ranking every ship I could like muster, and like it did not go well. I scrapped it because it was such like I did not feel any enthusiasm except for the Envy and Newsy ships.
Yeah, it's yeah. Is there anything like maybe writing wise you have a problem with, like in the canon show?
I think the idea, I don't really know. I mean, my main problem, I guess, is consistency.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
I have like so many things in mind that like you could improve on, like with it, not only characters, but also where you could have taken the show. I think
Right.
because it was Glitch's most popular show, like when they first like released it, like
It's what
because
put them
yeah, it's
on the
what they
land
put
on the
the yeah,
landmark essentially. Yeah.
it's what put the spotlight on them. It's what paved the way for like the Amazing Digital Circus, and then at some point this year, Gaslight District maybe. But
You hopefully, yeah.
yeah, I honestly okay. Quick side note: I have no idea what to expect with Gaslight District.
As far as we know, it's made by a seagull who came from Newgrounds, and shows about teenagers that are undead or something. And,
Yeah,
like, there's a character called the Butcher, all that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm gonna make videos on it or anything because I have no idea. But
I personally am taking an interest to it purely because I want to cover something that is an MD. So
yeah, yeah, I did try it because I was like, I got like a decent amount of traction, like when episode 7 was coming out, and I was realizing like I'm gonna become a Murder Drones channel, and Murder Drones is gonna end at some point. I need to become like an independent animation channel.
Yeah,
So
you
I've
need
been
some
pivoting.
longevity.
Yeah, I've been like pivoting towards indie animation a little bit more.
That's a very smart thing to do.
Yeah, and I mean my viewers are eating it up, I guess, a little bit. Like I
say
released
that.
like I guess that's a little bit of a condescending way to put it. I guess watching my videos, not eating it up. That sounds a bit wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess with like the writing, I guess there's nothing wrong. Like the idea, like the basic outline of like every human's basically dead. Robots are only left. Robots are killing robots, and there's a big robot that is taking control and really powerful. And then some robots have abilities. Like that basic outline is really cool, but I feel like the way it was executed was not that good.
Yeah. Yeah. I once again I cannot disagree with that. Okay. Here's something that comes to mind. It's a pretty interesting one because it does impact the show quite a bit actually. So you mentioned GLITCHx before in this recording, right?
Yeah.
Do you know about the infamous retcon that happened that Liam and Glitch themselves said involving the disassembly drones and their need to consume oil?
No, I do not.
Well, hold up, let me try and get it for you actually.
Yeah, I watched the entire GLITCHx live stream just because I had free time. I did not catch that.
Right. Well, let me try and get it for you. Essentially, Liam and Glitch, they got asked a question like, how long can the drone survive without oil? And they outright said that they retconned it, that they dropped that plot point, and it was not relevant after like episode like 2.
Oh, I do remember that. It just
Okay.
slipped in my mind. Okay, I do remember. I just did not. It did
Okay.
not come to my attention. I think that was like, yeah, again, like with consistency, you have to like at least make it so that like there's like at least a 5-second moment where like N has to snap out of like almost eating a worker drone or something, because it's
Yeah.
like basically instinct.
Like them overheating and everything. I think no, it's not episode 2. It's episode 4 when after Uzi eats your classmates and everything.
Yeah.
Like right after that, there's no like they don't overheat, and canonically that doesn't make sense because something was making them overheat in their actual body that made them have to eat oil.
It wasn't like
So
a code thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unless you reach out really far and say that it wasn't actually a necessity, because we never see any like, okay, this is like a random theory that just popped in my head. It's
Oh, yeah, go
probably
for it.
not true, but it could fix the plot if the disassembly drones, they don't actually need oil to survive. It's just a motive that was planted there by Sin to make them forced to kill the worker drones and eat them. But as soon as Uzi like hacks into their minds and like changes their admin or whatever, like they could code, like she takes out that code and then she's fine, and then they're fine. But that still doesn't explain Uzi's whole ordeal with
It
like,
really doesn't. Yeah.
but it helps a little bit. I don't. It's probably not true, and I don't think it would ever like be like officially like recognized as like canon. But it would be like it's just like little things like that would have helped like the plot holes in the series.
Of course. Yeah. I think that just outright retconning it and saying it in GLITCHx no less, not giving like an in-universe explanation, it really sucks.
Yeah.
Because that quite literally was the reason that they killed everyone in episode 1.
Yeah.
So just getting rid of that, they just lose a lot of like what made them them. V and N, they took joy in eating people.
Yeah.
And then you just take that away from them. Here, I actually found it inside the GLITCHx live stream. It is 2654 where they say it.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up Glitch.
Yeah. 2654. Hold up. The question is, how long can they last without oil? Oh no, wait, no. 2635. I skipped a bit forward. 35.
26.
2635.
Ink Just Ink asks, how
Yeah,
long can
you'd
the
see
murderers
Liam's response.
last without oil? Ooh, good question.
Ooh, man.
Oh, that plot thread we definitely didn't drop.
Oh yeah, he just outright says it like immediately.
Then they all laugh it off too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it really hurts just knowing that something that the pilot established was just thrown out the window.
Yeah,
almost
I think.
immediately.
Yeah, because it was like basically they were vampires. They were made out like they can't be in the sun, which we don't even know if that's still canon or not. Or that's still like a plot point.
Well, I that's actually a good segue to my next thing. That plot point with the sun, I think that it has a very solid chance of being pivotal in episode 8. Every episode so far, we've either been inside or like outside when it's nighttime.
Yeah.
When episode 8 rolls around, maybe like Sin pops out from the Copper Nine's core, but then the sun comes out and just outright like melts her or something. I think that would be very cool.
That's the only way that the Absolute Solver dies. That's a really big problem. But if there's like they have to last until sunrise, that's like a good like focus. But that's like a goal that they have. They have to wait until daytime.
Something like that, yeah.
Which would hurt all of them. Like Uzi was revealed at the end of episode 4. She can't be in sunlight either.
Yeah, none of them can.
Yeah, none of them can. So it's like a self-sacrifice. They're all willing to wait until daytime and make sure the Absolute Solver is dead.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And also, random thing that popped in my head. At the end of episode 3, Tessa arrived, or what we thought was Tessa, arrives on the planet.
Yeah.
And there were other like spaceships that
there were
crashed.
2 other ones. Yeah.
Where are those? Like there was like stuffed animals in them. That's pretty much it. Like was it just like her personal belongings? Like why would Sin, but like Tessa at the time, bring stuffed animals? Like they had to have something in them, right? What was it's just like never mentioned.
I feel like just like the mannequin thing in episode 4 where Uzi just sees the Tessa thing, quote unquote, in the cabin. I feel like once again they wouldn't do that unless it had some sort of like thing to do later down the road. I feel like at some point in episode 8, maybe Jay or someone, like she flies back like to where they originally landed, and then she gets out like some secret weapon or something.
Or like it's like, what if it's clones of all the murder drones, like NV and J? That would be an interesting plot point of just N fighting like all his copies in episode 8.
Yeah, it also pays off effective drones were cloned more, because that's all that Jay does in episode 6 is just say that ominous line, and then
it would be really funny. It would be really funny if there were no clones of Jay and there was only one because of how useless she was in the entire show.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Speaking
of, I think we should get to her actually.
Yeah, I think okay, so again, like with V, her character in general is such a good plot point. She follows orders without asking questions. She's the leader, so she has to act like above everyone else and stuff. Right. So it's so interesting what you could do with her character. Like you could have her like turn on like the absolute solver, which could happen in episode 8. But the more I think about it, the more I think that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like I think she's just gonna die to the real. I feel like the only thing we're gonna see is like, and they're gonna like, Thad, Lizzie, and Connor are gonna find N, and they're gonna walk out of the lab with next to them with like a smoking like crater with just like
just
part of Jay just like, in the crater. Like I feel like that's all that's gonna happen, and then everyone's gonna get really mad.
I think every J fan out there is very scared of that possibility. I think, and I'm hoping at least, the actual outcome of that is that, like, right before one of them dies, like let's say Jay falls on the ground, she's about to get railgunned just like she did in episode 1. Like then like probably V or N pop out of the labs, stop the fighting and everything, and then they reveal that Tessa was dead the entire time, and then that's when Jay has a meltdown, just losing her shit and everything, and that's when she snaps and becomes like a main character.
Yeah,
and that's a good way to actually utilize her. It actually like her doing something with the plot, not just being sidelined. I think like if they do that, the most likely outcome is that Jay's gonna die in the same episode where she has her little redemption, quote unquote. But I feel like that's still not a bad way to utilize her.
Yeah, that's like miles. Yeah, that's miles ahead of just having her being a smoking crater in the ground.
Exactly. I think I like to think, at least just based off my glitch knowledge, that that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have her redeem herself, quote unquote, by just fucking snapping, just being the main character for once.
Yeah, I think also, I think with like Jay's character, if that like, again, episode 8 has to be perfect, and I feel like a big factor for that is what they do with Jay. So if they mess up with like, because like that's if like you show at the beginning of the episode, Jay's just dead. Everyone's gonna be mad about that and not be able to recognize, even if the rest of the episode is really good, they're just gonna be like, oh, Jay got no character development, this episode sucks. I feel like they have to give Jay character development. They have to make her like a main character at the end of the show.
Yeah. Like if she dies in a really bad way, no less, you're gonna wonder what her point of being in the show was after episode 1.
Yeah, just like being a punching bag, I guess.
Quite literally, yeah. It's incredibly sad if that's the case. I would really argue that like if Jay was like the V and V was the J and everything, I think that obviously she would be a hell of a lot more liked than she currently is. Because I think she as a character is probably one of the best in the entire show. Her no nonsense attitude, her corporate speak and everything. Yeah. It's really good.
It took me an embarrassing long time to get her joke in episode 5. Like when she's breaking the chain. It took me like 26 watch throughs to actually recognize that, because I just tuned her out of the entire show because she was not relevant. I was like, that's what that means. Oh, okay.
Oh.
That was like it was like, oh, okay, that's like actually funny now. Okay.
Yeah. It's all right. Is there anything else about Jay that we need to go over?
I mean, there's like, I guess there's the stuff that they revealed by like GLITCHx stuff. Like she was originally supposed to be a boy.
Oh, a male? Yeah.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. I feel like that because if it was just like the opposite of N, I feel like that could have been cool. But I feel like the same thing would have happened. She just would have been in this alternate universe would have just been sidelined.
Yeah.
I think it wouldn't have changed anything.
Definitely not. That's a tough one. Is there anything else that we need to cover?
Do you have anything like problems with like the design of like, or like the backdrop or anything, like the animation of like the entire thing? Or I guess not the animation, because the animation's like, it's pretty good. Like I was doing quote unquote research by just watching the show again in front of my brother, and he's like, why is this animation like really good? And I looked at him, I was like, that's what I've been saying for the past like year, but whatever. And it was you could see like slowly how the show improved with like animation. Did you find anything wrong with like designs of characters or anything like
Not
that?
really. The one thing that like comes to mind, it's a bit of a weird detail, but it still feels a bit deliberate, is Thad's hair color changes between episodes.
Well, I can't say I've ever recognized that because I don't really.
I can't
he's
say I
not really
recognized it
prominent.
either. A friend brought it up to me, and it's kind of stuck with me ever since. Like,
Yeah.
it's really weird. I'm trying to get the reference images right now, but like, it is such a weird detail because the show is made in Unreal Engine, right?
Yeah.
So they have models and everything. So they deliberately changed the hair color, and
Or
I
they
don't know how
lost,
to.
or they lost the asset, which would have been.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
In episode 1, their screens are just like you can see.
Yeah, they're
through
like, yeah,
them,
they're
like,
glass. They're glass.
yeah, right.
I think
And-
that was a good change to just make them solid. Like.
Of course, yeah. Hold up, yeah. Like, even with that, if it does mean anything in the long term, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Thad, he was just dropped out of
Yeah?
existence for like half the series.
Of course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I was like my first, like that did not make the show any more easy. Like just like I don't know, like young me was just like, or I guess young by as in like a few months ago, but it was just where did one of the like main characters of the first 2 episodes just go? Like they're gone. Like he made a cameo in episode 3 and 4, was on episode 5 and 6, and then came back for a little bit in episode 7, and will probably be a main character again in episode 8.
Yeah. That's weird. It really is.
Like, if anything, I feel like there were 2 ways they could have fixed it. If one, they just always made him like a small cameo person, and then had him like do like a really like a funny like, oh, I'm now part of the main cast, but not really arc in like later episodes, or they just made it consistent and like made him like just like at least like tagging along, because like he put his life on the line for like 2 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Every side character's role, it really leaves me questioning what the point of them being there is. Cause like Thad's a really weird one. He really is.
Yeah, because it was originally like a love interest for Uzi, and then
Yeah.
the show creators realized that love interest is going to have to get shifted over to N. So they kind of just they dropped 2 things, which was N's crush for V, and then Thad as the entire character.
Yeah. It's so weird.
If you can't find
'Cause-
the reference pictures for Thad, I can just get them, in post.
Afterward, yeah. I think that's gonna have to be the case, but yeah. Okay. Is there anything else? I feel like we covered basically everything.
Yeah. I guess if you were to make a season 2 of Murder Drones, what would you make it?
Fantastic question. I would make it happen on a different exoplanet, because we see in episode 6 that JC Jensen does own multiple exoplanets on the computer.
Yeah.
That is established.
Oh yeah, hold on. You said this in your 20K special.
I did say that.
I think that's a really good idea, because it was shown all the other exoplanets were destroyed in episode 6, I think.
Right?
Because you already know it's doomed, so you're
Yeah.
like constantly waiting for the planet to just like spontaneously combust. So if you know it's gonna be doomed, you have a lot of freedom, like so you can kill off characters because they're never gonna affect the actual show. Like, you can make like a real tragic story, which I think I don't know a lot about Liam Vickers, but I think it would be right up his alley if the story was really tragic.
I definitely think that he would do that, yeah. JC Jensen as a whole, I think that they need to get reintroduced in a good way. The entire show, like the beginning of it at least, was centered around them. Uzi wants to destroy the company, basically.
Yeah.
That is dropped right after she meets N, and it becomes all absolute slobber stuff. If they're gonna do a season 2, it has to happen on a new exoplanet with a new cast and everything.
Yeah.
I think that at most you could probably bring back like 2 characters, maybe. Have one of them be Jade. Have them be side characters, of course. Don't have the main cast return.
Or like have
And
like
then
a
with that,
small
like-
like cameo of like
Yeah.
a Gen or like not Gen N clone.
Yeah. I think another like the cool Easter eggs, like the symbol on Uzi's jacket, like the little skull thing.
Yeah.
Have that be like in the actual season 2, so the metaphorical one. just like maybe have like the character be part of that band or something, or like that musical group that's on Uzi's jacket. You
Yeah.
can pay nod to the original source material by just expanding on it, basically.
Yeah. I think. What do you think of the idea of like spin-off episodes of like after the series is done, we get like small like side like shorts kind of.
I think that we should have had them between episodes, honestly, the same way that Hello is doing it right now. It's
Yeah.
like
I think the idea of just having like small little short episodes that are like maybe 10 minutes long, just like going into more like building a little bit for like the series, like the small little details, like have like a short about like a I don't know, like a robot like stuck, or like a drone stuck on like a spaceship floating through space or something.
yeah, you could honestly have like spin-off episodes, quote unquote, like with some of the side characters. So it's like a
Yeah.
cool nod, like if you know sort of thing. Like if you
Yeah.
know Rebecca's backstory, let's say, like let's say that she gets one, that makes her death in episode 4 a bit more impactful because she was the main protagonist for that episode.
Or
Or
you could
spin-off
give
episode.
you could dedicate a lot of shorts to Brayden, which would be cool.
Oh yeah, you already know, dude. Yeah, that would be the pinnacle of peak right there.
Yeah,
I would forgive all the show's shortcomings if they just made a Braden spin-off.
Yeah, I think, yeah, but like they can't just like make a whole bunch of shorts and then try to fix the series with those shorts. Because what's
course
done
not,
is
yeah.
done. What's done is done. Like you can't just be like, oh, here's a little short of like why the murder drones don't need to consume oil anymore. Like you can't just do that. You're gonna have to somehow mush everything together in episode 8, or else it's just not gonna happen.
It's like putting a band-aid on a very big wound.
Yes.
Yeah, that's literally the best way I can like view that.
Yeah.
Sure,
I mean,
there's something
that's
else
all
that we're
that's all
missing.
my focus. That's
I
all my
covered all
focus
my
points.
stuff too. Yeah, wanted to go over my stuff and got that done.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way that we want to like wrap this up?
I mean, not really. I guess we like, I don't know, shout out our channels. I mean, I guess I can gain you like 10 subs, and then that's
Hey, no. The point of this is that you get some recognition through me. It's not meant to be the other way around.
Okay. I mean, okay, I guess. Do you like? Am I posting this on my channel, or are you posting?
Yeah, you're posting this.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no. That's kind of the point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was just like checking all my comments. I saw you've been commenting on my stuff. I was like, oh cool, big YouTuber commenting on my stuff, and then next thing I know, I'm collabing. So that was pretty fun. Thanks for the offer. I really appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. It's my pleasure, man. I love talking with different people, just getting their different perspectives and everything. You brought up a lot of cool stuff, and like I gotta thank you for that.
Yeah.
Not everyone is as gifted as you are when it comes to talking.
Yeah. I can definitely tell with that, because like a lot of my friends are like, hey, like this guy's like doing really well with YouTube, maybe we can do it, and they're just like, they don't have like the motivation, or they don't have
the drive.
I don't want to
passion,
the drive, the passion. I started this channel. It was like I'm passionate about indie animation, and I want to make videos about it. So I was like, like my first videos, they didn't do too well. They did a little bit less than I expected, but that's okay, because I'm just gonna keep going.
Well, yeah, and like that's just part of YouTube, just getting
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
Being persistent.
Yeah, no matter what, just like keep going. So yeah, I really appreciate. I really can't like describe with words how thankful I am. Like all this, like this,
bro.
yeah, this video is like, I get a little bit more recognition, and I get to postpone my DreamWorks versus indie animation video a bit longer. So love to see it.
Of course, dude. Yeah, my pleasure, man.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I don't have too much to say.
Yep.